spectacular group of men. You go find them, you throw your arms around them, you give them a big kiss on the mouth.
This is PTR Radio.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. That's right. It's been a couple weeks. We're back in the groove. This evening, we will have our double feature movie review, and I've got a couple new toys to show for those of you that are interested. We can even talk about Amazon Prime Day and early Prime Day and see if anybody bought a lot of stuff that they didn't need. I bought all the stuff I didn't need before Prime Day, because I was dumb.
Well, yeah, we can talk about that.
We can also talk about, changes to the household and everything else, and so we can have all kinds of fun this evening. But, we want you to chime in, and I will get the toy up for Mike. So you can chime in on your favorite messenger, so Facebook, Twitter, the Twitch. Just stream along with the show, and Mike will pick out the best of the best of the best. Just like what's his name from the Karate Kid movies, and he will put it up on the screen for everybody to read. And then you'll get your few minutes of fame.
Wasn't the best of the best of the best from Men in Black?
Actually, the best of the best of the best, I guess that would be Best of the Best 3, which was not one of the better Best of the Best movies.
I didn't know that there was a third one. No, I'm thinking of...
I think it was like a
in the
fifth
recruitment.
one. I think there was like a
in the
fifth
recruitment
one.
scene. Like, we're looking for the best of the best of the best.
So, I wonder how many Best of the Best films there are.
Wow,
we've already gone.
Crab.
Yeah. So I know that there was. Oh, I love the Best of the Best movie though. That was the first Best of the Best movie was good.
My God, I feel like I need keys or something to jingle in front of the camera to get him back.
So, but
get back. Come on.
No, I got off on a stupid. I have never watched a single episode of Cobra Kai, but for some reason, Cobra Kai clips have made their way into my YouTube feed. I don't know why, but evidently they did. So, and now I have a feeling like I want to actually watch it, but I think I want to wait till it's completely over. I want everything to be over.
It may never be completely over. Look, my opinion is there should not be a season 6. The ending that they had this season was the ideal ending point. So I would say go ahead and watch it. Now, are they going to have a season 6? Yes, they are, because of the end of what happened in season 5. They kind of have to tie up that one loose end, but...
Did Daniel die?
And they need a chance to bring Hilary Swank in the next one.
Oh,
they brought everybody else in, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Oh, did the Smith boy come in yet?
The Smith boy.
Yeah, wasn't he in the next Karate Kid?
No, that was a remake. So he was playing Daniel.
Oh, well, is Jackie Chan gonna come in at some point and talk to us about Kung Fu?
No.
I mean, Kung Fu is everything. Take the jacket on. Put the jacket off.
You are crossing the streams here, my friend.
All right. Well, by the way, there were 4 Best of the Best movies.
And that's pathetic, because Eric Roberts probably got paid for all of them.
One.
Oh, no.
One
he was
more.
in 1 and 2.
Yeah, he wasn't in 3 or 4.
No, he was too busy doing a talking cat.
Yeah, it was just the Christopher McDonald was in these. It was Best of the Best 3.
Really? It wasn't even the guy to play Tommy?
No, it was
Christopher McDonald?
That's Tommy. That is Tommy.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
No.
Oh, and the fourth
Tommy
one co-stars
was Philip Ree.
Well, okay. Well, I don't know. It's got Tommy on the posters. I don't know. The fourth one co-stars Ernie Hudson. So what does that tell you? And there's no proton packs involved. So, all right. Anyway, as you can tell, the show's off to a wonderful start. So,
yes, and away we go.
yes,
I will say I am behind on a lot of television because I'm waiting for my brand new, very nice TV. And so I've been like, oh, I'm just going to wait until my new TV comes, and then I'll watch the Lord of the Rings thing on Amazon, and then I'll watch So it's finally arriving next Tuesday.
I've watched a ridiculous amount of stupid TV. So
we can go ahead. What do you define as stupid TV? Because I guarantee you our definitions are like Cobbler-esque on this one. Go ahead.
I watched Avenue 5.
That was stupid. I watched it because I love Hugh Laurie, but it was the dumbest thing ever, and I'm disappointed there's going to be a second season.
All right. I also watched a TV show called 7 Days. I watched a season and a half of it so far. And
is that the old time travel show?
It's from 1998. Frank Parker works with a special team of scientists and government officials on Project Backstep.
Not only have I watched every episode of that show, I have watched every episode of that show at least 4 times.
It
is one of my all-time favorite shows.
It's dumb. You only need to watch.
Oh, it's extremely dumb, but it is fun to watch.
I also watched a show called Defying Gravity, which is another show based on it's a show based on a book where they got 13 episodes done before they pulled the plug on it. And it stars Ron Livingston. So, it actually wasn't a bad show. It just was it didn't feel finished because it wasn't, obviously, but it was. In the near future, 8 astronauts from 5 countries, 4 women and 4 men, undertake a mysterious 6-year international space mission covering 13 billion kilometers with the eyes of the world upon them. Everything they do is monitored, and every emotion they feel scrutinized. They soon discover that their real assignment is not at all what they thought.
So I'm looking at the cast, and literally Ron Livingston is the only name I recognize.
Laura Harris has been in other stuff, I think, but
I'm sure every one of these people have been in other stuff, and I've probably seen them, but it don't mean I recognize them.
Yeah, she was in Jake 2.0, Sliders, Stargate Atlantis, Warehouse 13.
Malik Yoba was in there. Okay, I would have recognized him, but they don't show him in the top build cast, which is ridiculous because he was a commander.
Yeah. So it's just yeah.
Let's see. What is sensation? So is this anything like what was that? There was a mini series on Sci-Fi where everybody thought they were living on a spaceship, but in reality they never left Earth.
No. Okay. They actually did leave Earth here. But their mission was totally. They thought they were just taking a tour of the galaxy, stopping at every planet to set foot on it. And what they really were they were collecting these weird things. That was also secretly changing their body chemistry. It's really an odd show. Like I said, I was a little bit upset that they cut it so early because it seemed like it could have made for a decent series, but it was just I don't know. There was a lot of. There was some potential to it, but it just, I guess it didn't work. So, but anyway, yeah, so I've been watching shows like that. And then I also started watching Primeval New World again. That great Canadian show. But yeah, so that's and I was going to start watching Earth 2,
I've caught up on, Resident Alien. That is my jam. I love that show. and saw the season finale. My wife and I are almost caught up to the live broadcast episodes of Chicago Fire. Other than that, I don't have, and She-Hulk, which nobody has watched. So
I watched
cool.
I watched the first episode, and that's when because when I was really sick, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get caught up on all this Marvel stuff that I haven't watched, which is everything on Disney Plus. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch Loki. So I did that in like a day, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch Hawkeye. Watched it in a day. All right, I'm gonna watch WandaVision. Watched it. I'm gonna watch. I watched this, that, and the other. And then I watched some of the movies that I hadn't watched. And I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna watch She-Hulk. Watch one episode, and I'm like, this is kind of stupid. This is very like hokey. I don't know that I can finish watching this.
At first, I kind of thought that as well. But the season finale more than redeemed itself with how meta it got.
Okay.
And how much it poked fun at the entire MCU.
All right. I mean, I may have to, this cold ain't going away anytime soon, unfortunately. So I may have to, go back to it and watch it. I haven't yet.
And I am not, I'm somewhat ashamed to admit that I have a crush on She-Hulk. Not so much Jennifer, her non-green form. I don't know why.
No.
Bad CGI and all. I don't know.
Well, didn't they do more with a bodysuit rather than CGI because it was going to take so long to do all the CGI? I thought.
No.
I thought I had read that, but I definitely could be wrong. But all right. Well, I know that's why they weren't having the Hulk in all the episodes. Because it was just so much to make him look as good as his cinematic self. So, So,
and Thor: Love and Thunder is a steaming pile of poo.
I saw the
I'm
trailer, and I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm just. No, I haven't been interested in the Thor standalone movies though either. I never have. I'm like, I don't know.
Ragnarok I thought was wonderful.
Yeah, Ragnarok was cool, but I kind of felt like.
But it was a Loki movie. It was a Loki and a Hulk movie. It wasn't just him by himself. So,
Loki was in it. He wasn't that. I don't know.
I mean, Hulk was in. I get what you're saying, but I mean, at this, I completely lost what I was going to say about it.
But I don't know. My grandkids like it. I don't know. Which, by the way, news, I got another one while we were off
What's
the
that,
air.
42?
So that makes 4. I'm at 4 now.
4 grandbabies, you old man.
I know. So, all boys. And so.
It's all boys all the way down, huh?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. My stepsons don't know how to make anything but boys. I keep telling their women that. I'm like, that's all they know how to make is boys. They ain't doing no girls. Like, you could stand on your head. You can do jumping jacks after. I'm like, it ain't going to work. It's all boys. So, yep. But, yeah. Oh. So we had that good news come in. We had a lot of sad news. If you've been watching my Facebook feed, you've seen what the sad news is. We lost, several of our dogs over the last few weeks. Thank you to everybody who liked the post and replied. A special thank out to Mr. and Mrs. 8-Man. Really appreciate everything you guys have done. More than you'll know. And but we were concerned about our dog, which was left behind, which is Ivy. So even though they say you shouldn't jump right into another dog, we were kind of looking, and we found another another pet who desperately needed somebody to take care of them, and was going to have a hard time trying to find somebody to adopt them because they're very scared of people. And as my stepson said, what'd you do, sort by ugliest first? So I'm gonna go grab her and show you guys. I don't know if I've shown you guys even pictures yet, but let me go ahead and grab her real quick, and I'll show you the newest co-host of PTR.
Okay. You can see how long it takes to corral. If this dog is so scared, how long it's going to take him to corral her. And my whole thing, I tell people not to jump into it, but if you're ready, you're ready. I mean, that's not. I don't think there's a hard and fast rule about that.
No, we got our new dog soon after the previous one died, and that was very helpful.
It's different now. I mean, Shaggy had 3 in an extraordinarily unrelated, but in an extraordinarily short period of time. If you only have one dog in the house, it's a whole different story. What are you talking about, ugly?
So this is
ugly.
This is Penny. Actually, her name is Penne, as in like the noodle. But we just call her Penny. Okay. But yep. So she's our newest addition, and she
very
is
cute.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, she got a little bit of a snaggletooth, but she is.
Yes, but they're inside her mouth at least.
Well, and all of our rat terriers all had snaggletooth anyway, so we were used to it. So it's just endearing to me. But yes, so she is and she is all of 7.5 pounds, so she's very luggable. And she's about 1.5 years old. Now, the rescue that we got her from told us that she was Chihuahua and Shih Tzu. And my wife showed the vet a picture and said, there's no way that there is any Shih Tzu in that dog.
Well, it's hilarious. I think that's like the default thing that all the rescues around here say. Is they all just say, oh, it's a Chihuahua Shih Tzu. And then, like our dog, we looked at her and we said, no. And she turned out to be Chihuahua and Pom, mostly. There was like a very small amount of Shih Tzu. But...
So I told my wife, I'm like, well, I guess we could do a DNA test if we really cared, but we don't. So
it's fun. We did a DNA test. It was fun.
I told her about yours. I said she's 100% dog, and that's all we care about. And now it's just the process of, she was hit by a car when she came to the rescue, or right before she came to the rescue. So she had a broken pelvis. When we picked her up, it had been about 6 weeks post-injury, so she's healed from it. She still goes to the bathroom a little weird because of it. She has a very odd squat to her. But otherwise, she walks around just fine. She lays down just fine. She doesn't have any long-lasting injuries from that. She's got a little bit of road rash on the side of her from that. But that'll all heal over just fine. But she is super scared of people because of probably her life before then, and then the accident certainly didn't help. So we picked her up on Saturday. And then we had Monday off work. So she spent all that time with me. I let her kind of chill out by herself on Saturday when we got home, just to kind of acclimate to the house. And then Sunday and Monday, she just chilled with me on the couch. And, because basically you put her down and she didn't move. So I just said, okay, well, you can lay down on me, and that'll at least get you used to being around me. So, and then this morning she really surprised me because I had to go to work today, and so I put her in my wife's room where she spends most of the day, and she actually tried to follow me out the door, which was nice. So it's good to see that she's getting used to us. So.
And how is she with?
So with Ivy, they're neither one of them have a bad attitude. They're not real interactive with each other. Ivy, we took her to the vets the other day because she wasn't eating. Turns out she's got some liver problems, in addition to the kidney problems that she already had. So we're getting her on medicine for that. But nothing earth-shattering, something that she definitely should be able to recover and or live with. And so just old dog problems is all it is. You know, she's 14 going on 15, so, you know. But, no, they tolerate each other in the same room. They don't have any problems with that. There's no fighting or nothing. Their cages are next to each other, even though they've got covers on them. We do put them in their cages at night, especially this one. And but she likes her cage. She's happy with her cage, and just because that's what we tend to do. We don't let them run the house when nobody's here, and so at nighttime she gets put in her cage to sleep. And boy, I'll tell you what, she's never made a sound so far. Never heard her yip or bark or nothing. So my wife says, "Well, she needs to bark," and I'm like, "No, actually, we don't. No. I'm sure we don't want her to start."
Listen. When we first brought Tucker home, he didn't make a sound. And all of a sudden he started yipping and barking and all. And now I have to yell at him and try to teach him inside voice because we were a lot cuter before you found your voice, pal.
Yeah. But so I don't know. So we'll see. But she is adorable for us, and we like her being around. So we got her harness, and sometimes even around the house, especially if I'm not home, we'll have a little leash on her just so that my wife can pull her out of a corner if need be by the harness, because she still tends to hide from her. So we still take her outside on a leash because our backyard's really big and we don't want to have to chase her everywhere. So
no.
Still getting her used to it. But yeah, so that's Penny.
Congratulations.
You can go run now.
I'm talking to Penny, not you.
So, yep.
Cool.
So that's yep. So a grandkid and a dog. That's what we got all in one. Well, not in one weekend, but in 2 weekends. Yeah. So. And then, like I said, I've been buying toys. So I got a new web camera that I'm not running tonight because I didn't have time to configure it, and I know how Mike is whenever something goes wrong and it's because I rewired something. You know, he loves to make fun of me. But I did get a new web camera.
Okay, I was going to say, maybe, well, Mike is, I don't care. Yes, okay. Make fun of you? Yeah, yes.
So I bought a PTZ web camera. It's an OBSBot mini 4K or tiny 4K. And I actually bought this specifically for when we get back to doing bar time. So that it can follow, because it's got AI and it's supposed to follow you around. So then I don't walk out of frame when I go to the refrigerator or something like that. So that is going to be the new bar time camera when it comes time for that. And it was between this or the Insta360, which is the new camera on the block. Honestly, the Insta360 is probably better, but this was cheaper. And since this is an experiment, I went with a little cheaper.
Fair point.
So that was one purchase, and honestly, this was the cheaper of the two purchases. And then I also bought this.
Is that
So, it's a Steam Deck.
Shield, or is that a Steam Deck?
Steam Deck. Because well, I wanted to be able to play games kind of on the go. My thought was maybe I'd even take it to work and play during my lunch hour. Not that I get my lunch hour very often anymore, but that was kind of the thought, was that I would take it. But it's amazing how quickly you fill up 256 gigs with games. I've got like 5 loaded and it's almost full.
Yeah, and they get bigger and bigger
depending on the game too.
Yeah. So, but I've got Dirt 4 and 5 loaded. I've got Dirt Rally 2 loaded. I've also got a Mario Kart clone loaded, and then I'm going to be looking at doing some emulation on here too. So that's what I'm going to use the SD card for. The micro SD card is for doing, Super Nintendo emulation, Atari stuff, which you can definitely do on this. So
yeah,
yep. And then I bought a dock so that I can use it there.
This is my stupid new toy.
I don't know. Is that? I don't know what that is. It looks like a model car hood.
It looks like the hood of a car. Yeah.
Yes, it is the hood of a car.
Okay, you bought a car?
It's a subscription to a car. Every month I'll get more pieces of it.
Wait a second. Hold on. You bought a car subscription?
Tell me at least it's tell me at least it's like this is an RC car, not a model, right?
It's a model. It does have some electronic bits. You can use a wrist-mounted thing to make it talk.
Is it Knight Rider?
Is
it Kit?
It's Knight Rider.
It's Knight Rider.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm like, that hood looked like Kit.
It's a kit to make Kit. It's like a 1/8 scale.
Okay. The guy who has 3 dozen 1/24 scale NASCAR die-casts hanging on his wall with a fender or a quarter panel off of a car really can't complain about that. So I'm going to tell you, early access Prime days, pretty much a major disappointment. I put stuff in my cart a couple days before, and I watched. I had like 4 things in my cart, and I watched the total on my cart, and it did not change. So nothing that I wanted was going to be on sale, nor did the price go up. I checked on Camel to make sure that the prices didn't artificially inflate before Prime Day. So I just bought what I bought. That being said, I did wind up making some purchases before Prime Day. During the last show, I believe we had the discussion on air about replacing Kim's computer.
Mm-hmm.
And that purchase wound up happening with an iBuyPower pre-built gaming computer that I found on sale. Wound up being decent specs. She's not using it to game. She's using it to run Photoshop and all of the various programs for the business. So it's more than adequate. And I didn't have to do anything to it except open up the case, take out the foam, and swap out the 8-gig stick of RAM that it came with the 16-gig set that I had left over from my machine. So all's right in the world. The fun part was that computer was Windows 11. It was the first computer in this house to be Windows 11.
Yeah, and you hate it already, don't you?
Learning some stuff about it. I won't say she's been using it. I won't say we hate it, but it is different.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I finally updated my Nuke to Windows 11, and it doesn't bother me too much yet. But the other 2 purchases I made, yesterday, it won't be here till Friday, but I bought a TicWatch.
Oh, nice.
Because my Fitbit is not holding the charge as long as it should anymore. And I said, well, you know what? That was actually on a deal. It was $60 off. So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. Why not? And the other one, well, I done did it, Shag.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
But
you bought a nice one.
I bought the Pro because of the stupid ports with that stupid dock that I won in the damn Whoop box. I mean, it's a refurbished one.
Yeah.
So not only am I learning Windows 11, but now I'm learning Mac. As well, or iOS. What I don't know what this is, Catalina or Yosemite Sam. I don't know what the hell's on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what TicWatch did you buy?
The E3.
Okay. So you didn't go with the Pro 3 Ultra or the Pro 3 Ultra GPS?
No.
Okay. Now, did you buy the matching treadmill?
No.
Or
what now?
They have a Mob Boy, who is the company that makes TicWatch. Evidently, they make two different treadmills. A Tic treadmill and a Tic treadmill Pro. Mob Boy. Oh no, I'm sorry. They just make one. It's the Mob Boy Home Treadmill Pro. Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't even buy the Tic Pods, which.
No, I don't think. Oh, there is a regular Mob Boy Home Treadmill. Oh, it's only $50 difference. I wouldn't go €50 difference. I don't even know what the price is. Why am I in Spanish? Don't quote me Spanish. I want United States dollars.
Do Spanish, man.
I want freedom dollars. I don't want Spanish dollars. Oh, the regular home treadmill is only $270.
Yeah, no. I listen. I pay for my gym membership. I don't need to buy a treadmill. Although if I had a treadmill here, I might actually use it as opposed to the gym that I haven't seen since pre-COVID.
Yeah. What the hell is a GTH? A TicWatch GTH? Is that just the band, or what the hell is it? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
But anyway.
But I had talked to you about it, and my big concern. So the whole reason I said, okay, now's the time to jump in is, I guess Fitbit was purchased by Google, and the new Google Watch, the Google Pixel Watch, has all of the health monitoring is done by Fitbit, quote unquote. So it's pretty clear that Fitbit was migrating to Wear OS. And I said, okay, now's a good time. But what you said, this does a lot more than just what Fitbit does. So I'm concerned that this could wind up, like you said, being sensory overload with this watch. So I'm gonna have to be very careful about what
I think they've improved the app
what notifications I have turned on.
Yeah, and just for background context for those listening, so I had a first gen TicWatch, and I'm pretty sure it was first gen, because I wanted to jump into it because I thought, oh, cool, why not? But what I found was, because I have my phone linked to my my work email, which means it's also linked to my work calendar, and there's probably settings I could have changed, but this is what irritated me. Was I would get an alert 15 minutes before a meeting on my desktop. Then my phone would ring or would buzz telling me I have a meeting coming up in 15 minutes. Then my wrist would vibrate telling me that I had a meeting in 15 minutes. And it would do that, and then it would do it at 10 minutes and 5 minutes. And it was just like, oh my God. And since I have meetings all day long, it was stressing me out because it just was too much. I'm like, I don't need this level of reminding. So, and like I said, I'm sure there's things I could have done to fix that, but I didn't want to. I just said, screw it. I'm taking off the watch. And just this last week, I even disconnected. My phone was even double dinging me because I not only had Outlook, but then I had Outlook synced to my local calendar, my Android calendar. So it was dinging twice. So it was like ding on computer, ding ding on phone, ding ding on wrist. And it was just like, ah! So it was too much for me. And I'm like, my life is simpler without something on my wrist. I didn't have it before.
Yeah.
I don't need it now. But the one thing I do miss that I really did like was just being when I'm in a meeting and my phone buzzes and I know it's a text message, just being able to flick my wrist and see, the first line of that text message and if it's something I need to pay attention to or not. That was really handy. Or being able to see who's calling and flick them to voicemail without having to whip my phone out and be distracting in a meeting. Those were the cool things. The
voicemail and phone call part, yes, I agree. The text messages, I find it especially handy with logging into all of these different portals at work because of the two-factor authentication. So instead of having to grab my phone to see it, I can just flick my wrist and see the code.
Yeah, depending upon how you do that, that would definitely be useful.
So it has proven to be useful.
Yeah.
And like I said, if it winds up being too much, then,
Yeah, mine's in a drawer upstairs. So, and the other thing that killed me was that one in particular, the charging for it was not great. It had a mag charger, but it just wasn't very good. It was a weak magnet. It was just this weird USB cable, and so it wasn't very handy. I'm sure that they've done a lot better job with their chargers now.
Yeah, I don't know if they have, but at least there are aftermarket stands out there for them now. So we'll see.
Yep.
Don't know.
But anyway, so that's kind of what's been going on, and Colin's building a car 1 month at a time.
Yes. So it would be cool though if you were going to get one that was like gasoline powered or something. Like those old, the RC, gas powered cars. That would be nice. Something that you could rip around the backyard, annoy the neighbors with its high pitched whine. Yeah, well, we already have one of those. It also knows how to cut grass. And I don't know.
All right.
I always wanted. It's when I was a kid. Yes, that is something I would have wanted. But that's one of the things that I just kind of have lost interest in, I guess.
Now,
well,
go ahead.
Okay. Now, before we go on to something else here, since we were all just like showing our toys on camera and what have you, Colin, I don't know why this popped in my head. Probably because I was in the kitchen, I was cooking, and I was making a mini pizza for myself, and the crust is small enough that I grabbed my 8-inch chef knife and I cut it with that. But it reminded me, and I don't know why I didn't question this until now, but at one point we were talking about pizza. I think Shaggy was talking about a pizza oven, and we're talking about pizza cutters, and you, without even missing a beat, reached over and pulled out this Klingon-esque pizza cutter thing.
Yeah, I don't remember why I had that in my room at the time, yes.
That is exactly what started bothering me when I recalled this. Like, why was that so accessible in his room?
A batleth sword is what you're thinking of. Yes.
I think you had said something about it in the pre-show, and so I knew it was going to come up, so I had already went and gotten it from the kitchen.
Okay. That would make sense.
Yeah, but no, that does not usually.
I don't know why that bothered me.
It's
it
not
usually
his,
lives
that's
in
just
the
a
kitchen.
sign of how.
It sits
my
on
mind
top
is
of the
evolving
keel,
or devolving.
so everything's all together.
Okay.
But yeah. When I order like a Pizza Hut pizza and it comes and it's not cut correctly, I'm like, there's no excuse for you not to have cut this pizza correctly. I've seen you guys cutting pizzas inside the Pizza Hut. You're using the exact same pizza cutter I have. You just take it and you go wham, 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 and the pizza's cut. There's no excuse for an uncut pizza.
Now that's true if the crust isn't cut 100%. That's accurate. But what I have found, at least with when I order pizza, is the cheese remelts together between the time that I grab the pizza from the pizza place and I get back home. Is it has it's healed itself, like the power of Jesus compelled it, and you know I have to part the melted cheese sea again. All right.
Okay.
But
that's
you know, so that's what always happens with me, is that I have to go through and then I have to cut it up again. And, you know, I don't blame the pizza place for that. But yeah, if they don't cut through it all the way, 100%.
Yeah. It's like you have one job and you failed. But, you know, I guess all places are having trouble finding employees who, you know, can count to 4 and
they're paying
cut a pizza.
The starting salaries have gone kind of ridiculous. I mean, you know, I hate to play the old man card, but I mean, remember when we first started working and, you know, minimum wage was like $3.25 or less. And now, you know, you see signs. I saw a sign for a Michelin tire place, and it said starting salary $25, no experience required. I'm like, $25 an hour? Oh, holy crap. I'm not that old that it's gone up that much. You know, and yeah, it's just, I know it takes a lot of money to get people in the door, but good Lord. You know, what's sad is the school bus place down the road, they're up to $18 an hour to be a school bus driver. I pass that place and go, they need to up their rates, because I would not do that for $18 an hour. You know, I would not drive around these kids, not unless they put me in a bulletproof glass enclosure and I could just tune them out, and all I'm responsible for is, you know, driving from point A to point B. You know.
Yeah, listen, if being a bus driver was a position that allowed me to get my concealed carry license in New Jersey, then I would consider it. But even then, I'd have to question my life choices. Although, to be completely honest, that is one of those jobs that I would consider after in quote-unquote retirement. I will drive that bus.
Well, the average bus driver salary in Illinois is $33,729 a year. That's and it says it ranges up to 43,846. I mean, it's not bad.
I mean,
for driving, but you know, I know one guy that he drove for the bus company during the rise of COVID, and he was driving a bus full of corpses. So, you know, the most peaceful bus journey ever.
Yeah, I would consider that. Delivered to the Cortland Brothers mortuary, you know. That's. I'd be okay with that.
But yeah.
So we have very little on the white sheet. I think because of everything that was going on, we didn't add a whole lot of stuff. But
no, but I do.
The first thing.
Yeah, I want to talk about this because this is just wrong on a lot of levels.
The first thing on the white list, the white sheet.
Yeah, because I don't
so
agree. I object.
There is a new I guess animated Scooby-Doo movie that just came out, and in this movie, they flat out have confirmed that Velma from the Scooby-Doo gang is a lesbian.
And I'm sorry, but at most, you could say that she was bi. That is the furthest you can take Velma away from heterosexual.
Well,
because of Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed. I mean, it's a fact. It is a fact of canon that you cannot ignore.
Canon.
Okay,
Canon.
what happened?
You think there's canon in Scooby-Doo?
Yes, every
So at
franchise has
some point-
canon.
So at some point within the canon Scooby-Doo thing, actual ghosts showed up, and they had to go and stop them, all 13 of them. Is that what? Was it 13?
That is a spinoff. That is not considered canon. You know, that would be like Rogue One. Isn't, in my mind, that's not canon of Star Wars. All right, it's not real. You know.
I was just curious. So is Scrappy-Doo canon?
See, that's difficult because Scrappy-Doo was in Scooby-Doo, the original movie from the 90s. So, and he was somewhat introduced in the original cartoons. So I will have to say that Scrappy is he is an unfortunate canon instance. All right. But, you know, the good part about canon is we also get things, you know, like Scruffy-Doo and Dumber-Doo, and we get things like what was it, Skippy or whatever? What the hell was his name?
Skippy.
Who was the Dune Buggy? Speedy Buggy. Yeah, I don't was Scoopy. Who was the who had his friends Tinker, Mark, and Debbie. All right, so those become canon. You know, so that's good. You know, so yeah, and you get canon also becomes Harlem Globetrotters, which is great. You know, allowed to have those guys. So, you know.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay, so in the so first of all, the 2002 Scooby-Doo live-action movie, which was the first one. Yep. I didn't realize that James Gunn was the writer.
Oh, yeah.
As in Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Yep.
And he wrote the sequel.
There was a lot of... So when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out, they're like, the guy who wrote Scooby-Doo is gonna do Marvel? Yeah.
So he wrote Monsters Unleashed too, and here's an interview with him from 2020, where he said it was his intention to portray the character as explicitly gay before the studio Warner Brothers intervened.
What, to do Velma as explicitly gay, or Fred? Because I could see Fred.
Velma.
I can't see. No, Velma. I can't see Velma. No, well, who's Velma going to hit on? Alicia Silverstone's character, Heather? Because that's not going to happen.
Deleted footage from the 2002 film shows evidence of Velma's queerness. I'm reading from the article here. One scene, which is now resurfaced on Twitter, the normally turtleneck character is dancing in her underwear in a locker room with other women. Daphne looks on shocked. In another scene, which Velma and Daphne kiss, was filmed but has never seen the light of day.
I mean, I can show you a film where Velma is making out with Daphne. I can show you that film if you really want to see that film. Colin doesn't want to see that film. I can guarantee you that. But I can show you that film.
So here's my question, because apparently there's been other discussions about this, and I guess there have been other signs that Velma was gay, and is this an example of canon becoming correcting itself, or is this an example of Scooby-Doo suddenly becoming woke?
I think there's a lot of. I posted a safe for work picture in Slack, so don't worry. But yeah, you know, I just I think that I think this is a bit of wokeness. I'm pretty reserved at saying that phrase wokeness, but I think it is a lot of potential wokeness.
Yeah, I would just say there's been so many different versions of Scooby-Doo that they can try. I mean, they had the one where Daphne apparently was a hand puppeteer, and anyway, so I let every one of them be. I don't subscribe to Shaggy's everything is canon Scooby-Doo theory. I think everyone is its own Scooby-Doo universe. So,
well, you're a
So you
Scooby-Doo
subscribe
denialist.
to the multi-do-verse is what you subscribe to.
yeah, I would say there's multiple do verses, and
Okay.
if they were to say that she is now officially lesbian from now on and always was, yeah, that's that's a bit much. But if there's this version, this time she's a lesbian, I'd be like, okay. I'm not sure why you couldn't have had Daphne be the lesbian instead of the lead of geekness there, but okay, that's easy. I guess you took the easy choice.
I just think that
of course, because there's always been that sexual tension between Daphne and Fred.
Well, but see, here's the thing: who
Sometimes.
cosplays as Daphne? Nobody. Nobody picks
No,
Daphne.
Unless they're going with their boyfriend who they're making dress as Fred.
Right.
Because they've always been an implied couple.
But in that case, they kind of worry if Fred is really into them or if he's just hiding his true colors. I mean, that's the only reason why he would wear,
An
what he
ascot.
wears. Yeah. I mean, it's just the way it is. Which I believe is really I believe this is really the problem with the new Scooby-Doo cartoons, by the way. They don't stick to the origins of the characters. In the new Scooby-Doo cartoons, they don't wear the same clothes. And this is what's wrong with society. Okay?
And you're not even drinking.
Kids don't have consistency in their messaging. See? We're screwing them up. We're saying things like Velma's a lesbian, Fred's heterosexual, Shaggy's not a pothead. I mean, that'll just mess a kid up.
Yeah, but Shaggy being a pothead doesn't matter now because it's practically legal everywhere.
I mean, now we're saying that he is an entrepreneur and he is more successful than Velma's family, than Daphne's family.
Well, he should be. He could be. I always thought that that the character of Shaggy should be played by like a Woody Harrelson and promote the use of hemp everywhere. And the Mystery Machine could run on hemp oil
At this point,
as a biofuel.
At this point, it would be more like a Randy Quaid. Have an old
Well,
folks
fair enough.
Scooby-Doo where they're all aged appropriate to how old they should be.
That would be. Oh God, I would
Senior
so
citizen
watch
Scooby-Doo.
I would so watch that do-verse because that man. Okay, we got a game here. Let's
the Rescue Rangers version. Yeah, the Rescue Rangers version where it turns out that Fred is the one who was always on marijuana and now homeless, living on the beach, and Shaggy turns out to be Elon Musk and. Yeah, I'm actually not interested in that. Thank you, but I do like some of the weird Scooby-Doos. I will say that one couple years back, where some of the voices changed, and it looked like
the one that they just called Do, I think.
No,
or Scoob.
Yeah, are you talking about
Scoob?
Are you talking about the high school one? Before Mystery Gang or whatever it is. Was it live action or animated?
Oh, animated.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I
think that was Scoob. Scoob was in 2020.
Yeah, that was animated. I know.
Because
we had
the voice cast. Okay. So Frank Welker was Scooby-Doo, really? Will Forte was Shaggy. Marky Mark was Brian Crown / Blue Falcon. Oh my God!
That's funny. I saw this
Gina
title,
Rodriguez,
and it said
Velma.
Scooby-Doo Straight Outta, and I thought, Compton? And it was no, Straight Out of Nowhere. And then
God, this had a whole big. Ken Jeong was Dynamut the Dog Wonder, robot sidekick of Blue Falcon. Tracy Morgan was Captain Caveman.
Oh, no.
Now I'm mad that I didn't watch this movie.
No, it was the one I was talking about was the Be Cool Scooby-Doo, which I think a lot of people didn't like, but I actually really liked that one.
Son of a bitch! This says it's set in an alternate Hanna-Barbera animated multiverse. There actually is a multi-do-verse.
A multi-do-verse.
Oh.
The Dooth Dimension.
A Scooby-Doo mention. There we go.
Yep. So,
Let's move on.
yeah, let's move on. So,
He's beating this one.
Well, I actually have a story. So, did you guys hear about Lufthansa?
what?
Lufthansa,
The airline?
the German airline,
No.
and their debacle.
No, I didn't hear it, but
So-
I know. Okay.
Okay, so here's what happened. So there were some viral blog things about Lufthansa losing people's bags and then saying, we have no idea where the bags are. But those people had air tags in their luggage, so they used the air tag to figure out where their luggage was and revealed that, they could find their luggage, and it was just like in a different city in France. Than they were in Paris, and it was like 380 miles away in a different city in France. Anyway, making Lufthansa look bad and losing luggage, but they were able to find it with their phones. So Lufthansa's reaction to all this was to ban air tags from all checked luggage because they're dangerous.
Dangerous to their reputation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, they looked at the regulations and saw that lithium-ion batteries are banned from luggage and transmitters are. So they said, it's not our fault. We can't do anything about it. These regulations say that they're banned from luggage, so we're not going to allow them anymore. Well, AirTags, in case you don't know, don't have lithium-ion batteries. I mean, they have lithium coin cell batteries, the kind of coin cells you find in watches. But they're not banned lithium-ion rechargeable batteries. So, and then for like the last several days, it's been like going back and forth between them telling travel bloggers that, no, we're not doing it. This is a complete, it's a lie. We didn't actually say this. People were just running off of this. And then telling reporters, yes, they are banned because of this regulation. So it turns out, I think as of today, or maybe yesterday, they finally were officially saying across the board that, no, they're not going to ban them anymore. But, a company banned AirTags because it made them look bad. And I think that's just hilarious.
Companies have banned smaller things and looked even dumb. I have seen, well, they were trying to cover up a problem. That's the long and the short of it here, right? So people took it to their own hands to try and figure out how to rectify this problem or prove that there has been a problem going on. But then sometimes I feel like companies are trying to solve problems that don't really exist, much like sometimes politicians do. But, example, nobody asked for some hipster designer to create an adult Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Yet I have to look at Grimace and the Hamburglar with 4 eyes because Cactus Bob or whatever the hell, Cactus Juice, whatever the guy's name is, that's the artist's style. There
Yeah,
is such a thing
hadn't
as an
seen
adult
these.
Happy Meal. It's called the number one, supersized.
yeah, we have like a dozen adult Happy Meals. We just don't get toys because we don't need toys.
No,
Well, if you want
I
to
don't
make
need
me an
toys.
adult Happy Meal and include a model of Knight Rider's kit, then I'll be there. But don't give me a plastic toy with 4 eyes on it and say it's for adults.
I saw
And
one.
somehow those toys are going to wind up being worth like $200,000 in my next life.
Well, yeah, it's the Beanie Baby craze all over again.
Yeah.
You know,
Whatever happened to Beanie Babies?
They're all in Rubbermaid tubs in attics. That's what happened to them.
That makes sense. Yeah. Mice are living.
You know,
in them.
Happy Meals used to have really fun little toys that were actually mechanical things. I think they had to stop putting it in there because they decided it was too dangerous for kids. Well, if these are going to be for adults, then give it back to us.
So
I had all kinds of
you
stupid little McDonald's Happy Meal
That
toys,
was
like a transforming hamburger that turned into a transformer. I mean, give me one of those again.
I remember you used to, like when Battlestar Galactica, the original series, okay? You used to be able to buy a toy Viper that when you pushed a button, it would shoot 2 little spring-loaded missiles, like a dart gun. Well, I wound up getting a different vehicle, like 6 months later, and this was when the whole choking hazard thing started. And the missile wouldn't actually shoot out; it was locked in, so
Yeah.
it would like pop just enough that you'd see it, and you push it back. And what kind of fun was that? Dart guns. Couldn't have them anymore. Now everything's Nerf, everything, and I know I'm sounding like an old man, like, give me back my lawn darts. Well, lawn darts were actually kind of dangerous and stupid. It's kind of like the thing from Grown Ups. What was it with the arrow, where they shot the arrow straight up in the air, and the last one to leave the circle won? That kind of.
So I just posted a
surprise-
link to a list of the best Happy Meal toys of all time.
Well,
Okay.
So
We have a couple of different lists, and we got a game too. But
Yeah.
so okay, let's see. McNugget buddies. Okay, so these were kind of like McNugget versions of Weebles. They were just like dressed up kind of thing. And all right, so kind of cool. Okay, so Chip and Dale raised Tiny Toons. This is when all these companies would pay McDonald's
Yep.
to be in the Happy Meal because it was their advertising, as opposed to McDonald's has to license from
Yeah.
right? So Garfield vehicles. So you had Garfield on all of these little things. Yeah, that was before. So now, if McDonald's wanted to do that, instead of, here you go, you can use these images, or Lego sets. Can't do Legos anymore because why? Kids are going to choke on them.
Yep. Super Mario Poppers. Yep. Garfield. Yep. There was just an article the other day about McDonald's Transformers. Yep. So that was it. But then but it does create some of the best memes ever. So like here, if they made Happy Meals for adults, red wine. Why can't we have that? Or here, Happy Meal toys are getting out of hand.
Oh dear Lord!
So, yeah.
Why, Grimace? Why? See, look, they're the four-eyed little freaks.
Yeah, yeah. But there were so many that so many memes.
And I used to get mad. Like
some I saw one that had. I was trying to find it. It looked like a Capri Sun, but it said Modelo on it. It said the hard part was getting the straw in.
Yeah. So I remember as a kid, like you never knew if toys were based on location or date or just random luck of the draw. Like if I would make my grandfather drive me to a different McDonald's because we already went to the one closest to the house and I got the toy from that Happy Meal. I want to go to the other one to get a different toy.
Yeah. I used to hate working drive-through or even the register where somebody goes, I already have this one. Can I have a different one? No. This is what's in the box.
No, this is all we have. Yeah,
No.
but the kid next to us, no.
No. Or when they go, oh, this is for a child under 3. Oh, crap. Now I got to go get a different one. Because you have specific child under 3 toys.
Yeah, because, kids under 3 don't know
is this for
stuff out of their mouth.
Is this for a boy or a girl? God, I'd hate to have to ask. Is this for a child who identifies as a boy or a girl? Or trans, or you can't even ask that question now.
You had to go there.
I don't know how. I don't know how they'd take care of He-Man or Barbie toys.
You just had to sign up there with stuff on it. You say, do you want these or these?
You couldn't even have He-Man and She-Ra. You just have to have they person.
What are your child's pronouns?
Although I think you just described the most recent She-Ra, so there you go.
They person?
Now, you do realize I'm talking like this about kids and the pronouns and joking about it, and somehow I have to DJ a Halloween party or Halloween dance.
Oh, I know.
At a grammar school.
Oh, I have to
in town, the grammar school. I don't have kids. I never had kids. Okay, let's be real clear about that in case y'all didn't know. I don't know if I'm legally allowed to have kids in the state of New Jersey, but somehow I'm going to be DJing a Halloween party for grades K through 3.
You're not legally disallowed from being around children, though. At least not that you've told us.
No, I'm not on some list somewhere. I mean, my friends used to tell me all the time, you're not allowed to you are not allowed to father children. You can't have kids, but your wife can.
It's not like you were never a child. No. You were a child once.
Okay, so yes. Okay, so here we go. This is another good point. So McDonald's is afraid of product liability, and all these toy companies are afraid of product liability, but it seems like every week you're hearing about some high school athlete either in the hospital, dying, have some horrific injury, something that sincerely shouldn't happen. So I would like to pose the theory that if parents would let children have some of these semi-dangerous toys back, they wouldn't be looking for dangerous stuff to do.
We were talking today at work, and I won't say who brought this up or anything, but I'll just say I was given a hypothetical question. So what would you do if your child was put in detention because they hit a girl? You had a son, and they were put in detention for hitting a girl. Okay? So this was a hypothetical question that came to me. And I said, well, I don't know that you want to ask me that question. I said, because of 2 things. I said, 1, I was told you could never hit girls no matter how badly they're hurting you. I said, and 2, I was also given the rule that you never start a fight, but you damn well better finish it. I said, so while those 2 do seem to conflict, they are 2 rules that I was given. To which another coworker piped up and said, I know, I told my son about the you don't hit girls, and he said, well, what if they're beating up on me? And I just didn't know what to tell him. And I said, well, that's when you look at your son, and because I guess he's like, early teens, right? And I said, well, as a mother, this is what I would do. I said, I can't do this because I'm a dad. I said, but if you're a mom, this is what you do when your son says, what do I do when girls beat me up? I said, because this is what my mom would have done had I asked that question. I'm like, that's when you grab their hands and you start smacking them in the face with their own hands. And you go, what's the matter? Huh? Little wussy boy? What girl's going to beat you up? Huh? Are you too much of a wussy to get beat? You're going to get beat up by a girl? Huh? And then you jab him in the chest a couple times. I'm like, come on. Come on. I'm like, that's what would have happened in my house. I'm like, because but that was also 1980 something. I'm like, because that will humiliate him enough to where that won't happen again.
If my son was in detention for hitting a girl, my first question would be, can we confirm that she identifies as a girl? Because if not, if this girl happens to be like Rosie O'Donnell, then, might be justified. Might not be. I don't condone any violence, but
I think Tom Arnold would say sometimes it was justified.
Well, walking on dangerous ground here, answering this question. I don't know, man. Hypothetical question. What would you do? I said, hypothetically, I don't have kids, so I don't have to answer your hypothetical question. One of those times where I'm glad that I don't have kids. Who am I kidding? There's a lot of those times, but yeah. Stuff like that. That right there is part of the reason why I don't want to deal with stuff like that, man. Bad enough man. But then I'm talking to Kim. I'm like, what am I going to dress up as? She's like, oh, we have costumes up in the attic. I'm sure you could put something together. I said, oh, really now? Let's run through the list of costumes up there. I have the proctologist doctor or gynecologist, Dr. Seymour Bush. Says it right on the thing, Seymour Bush. Okay?
The dads would get a kick.
Kurt Cobain,
hold on,
complete with shotgun.
Jesus, you could turn into a hippie really easy.
Well, I could be Malibu Jesus, if I so chose. But yeah, Kurt Cobain with the shotgun.
Okay, that's probably not appropriate.
No, I don't. And so I have no idea what I'm gonna. I told her, I said, I'm just gonna wear my shirt that I wore last Halloween. It says I'm a nightmare before coffee, and that's it. All right. We are at like 8:15, and
all right. So
Shaggy, your game. So
yeah, I want to
do the game.
I want to do the game because I think it's going to be fun. So I heard this while I was driving home, and I thought, oh, this will be fun for us because we love movies, and sometimes we're pretty good at actors who have been in several movies. So here's the game, and I'll give you the ridiculous scenario, which is really easy to figure out, and then we can try it with our own people. So the question was given, okay, name an actor. In this case, it was Sylvester Stallone, okay? And he is, and then you're going to take two characters that he has played, and you're going to battle them against each other, and then we're going to have to say which one we believe would win in a fight. Okay? So Sylvester Stallone, Rambo versus Rocky. Okay? So it's the same person, but two different characters. Yeah. Who would win in a fight? Rambo versus Rocky. So, Mike, who do you think would win? Rambo. Okay. Yeah. Colin? Rambo. Which is the obvious answer, right? Rocky doesn't even know how to block a hit. All right.
And
gets
Rocky,
the crap beat out of him.
Rocky famously loses many fights in his movies.
Yeah.
So
Rocky also has never been in a position where he has actually literally had to kill someone.
Mm-hmm. So, but I thought, okay, well, that's the easy one, right? So now let's come up with some actors and some roles, and come up with some more difficult ones, right? So let's do. All right. So I brought up beforehand Bruce Willis. All right.
Okay.
So John McClane versus Corbin Dallas. So John McClane from Die Hard versus Corbin Dallas, The Fifth Element.
Beyond the fact that they're pretty much the same character, I'll have to go with Corbin Dallas because he has better weapons.
Mike, you said the same?
I'm going with Corbin Dallas because they essentially had the same training, but Corbin Dallas had to learn how to handle humans and many, many species like Mangalores.
Okay. Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, we know Corbin Dallas was in the Army, right? So he was in like the Marines or whatever, because we know that his former commander talks to him in The Fifth Element. All we know about John McClane is that he was a cop, that he's a cop. So we don't know that he has any necessarily special training. We just know he's really good under pressure from terrorists. So, so that's I'm with you guys. I'd go with The Fifth Element. All right. Okay. So now you guys, Colin, you're acting.
Okay. So I have some different choices. I had one obvious. I went with Matt Damon.
Ooh, Matt Damon.
So, of course, one is going to obviously be Jason Bourne.
Okay. Oh, strong character.
So then I was like, okay, well, I got many choices of who the second character is to go up against Jason Bourne. So I think the one that's most interesting, even though it isn't fully an action movie, there's action in it. So, Jason Bourne versus Mark Watney.
Oh, it's going to be Jason Bourne all day long.
Yeah.
There's no competition. Mark Watney didn't have to kill anything on Mars. He just had to
defeated Mars.
Mars wasn't shooting at him. It was just trying to kill it with their environment.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if Mark Watney sciences the shit out of it, he might be able to defeat Jason Bourne.
Okay. Yeah, but Jason Bourne wouldn't give him the chance to.
Yeah.
The science shit. Yeah, sciencing the shit out of something takes time. Okay, Jason Bourne. Before, if you see Jason Bourne, you're already dead. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got you. That's it. Now, if you had said Jason Bourne or Max DaCosta post implants from Elysium, maybe you got a chance because now he's got the superhuman exoskeleton.
Of course, I could also say, how is Jason Bourne going to defeat Mark Watney? Because first he has to get to Mars.
No, Mark Watney came home.
Well, I know. I'm saying just.
All right, Mike, your turn.
Well, all right. So originally, I did not think that this is how the game was going to go. So my first choice, my first actor was Jesse the Body Ventura.
Okay.
And the two characters he played were Blaine from Predator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Captain Freedom from The Running Man.
Well, okay. Well, those are both good ones. But I've only seen Running Man, so I have to go with that, even if it's going to be incorrect.
Yeah, I don't know what to
Blaine
even argue with that one.
So I mean, completely. So then I started thinking about Michael Biehn.
Who's Michael Biehn?
Kyle Reese from the original Terminator, or Corporal Hicks from Aliens.
Oh, Okay.
Or we could go Kyle Reese from the original Terminator and Johnny Ringo from Tombstone, where he's a villain.
Nah, I'm going to go villain. I'm going to go Tombstone.
I don't know. He survived against the Terminator for a long time. But I don't know, it's hard to say because I don't know if I've ever seen, well, that I remember Tombstone. I probably have seen it, but I don't remember it. What was the other one you said?
Here, Corporal Hicks from Aliens.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anybody from Aliens, yeah, that might have to lean that way. But.
Okay, and then I got one more that I think might be a legit. We're going to have a discussion.
Okay.
Okay.
Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
Okay.
Simon Phoenix from Demolition Man or
No.
Blade.
Uh-huh.
Well, you got to go. Don't you got to go Blade? I mean, he's a daywalker in Blade.
Yeah.
He's really good with the sword. I mean,
But Simon Phoenix is not. Yeah, that's a pretty dangerous guy there.
But he's just a guy. He ain't got no superpowers.
But he knows how to knit.
He's been complete. No, that's Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Character.
Oh, I thought they both can knit. What
Simon
did he
Phoenix.
get?
Bomb
Simon
building.
Phoenix was trained with bomb building, murder, death,
Okay, for
kill,
some reason I thought he got
jiu-jitsu,
knitting as well.
Krav Maga.
Yeah.
Okay. I was remembering that wrong. It'd be funnier if he did, because they could say, well, at least he can knit.
I don't
But,
know. I mean,
I think,
I'm
especially the first
Blade.
Blade movie. So I think the character, if I remember correctly, in the other Blade movie, was it one more or two more?
There were two more.
Two more.
The second one was where he was with all the other vampires trying to destroy the mutant vampire. So that was the one with Ron Perlman and Norman Reedus, and then the third one was with Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel, where they were trying to kill actual Dracula.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I ever saw that one. I just know that when I saw him in the first one, I was impressed, and then I saw him in the second one, I was not impressed. So.
All right, so I actually have one that I think might be difficult for you, and this will go into your, a bit of your off-brand movies. Okay, so Vin Diesel. All right, Shane Wolf from The Pacifier up against Dominic Toretto from Fast and the Furious.
Pacifier.
No, definitely gonna be Donovan. Because here's the problem: if you put anybody up from if you put Dom from Fast and the Furious up against anybody, it doesn't matter what powers the other guy has, because the physics of the world are going to completely morph to make Dom unbeatable.
I thought you were going to say because it's all about family.
That would have been good too.
Or because he only lives his life a quarter mile at a time.
Excuse me. Pacifier was also all about family. Remember, he was.
Yes, it was.
He took care of them kids like family. Now, see, if you had thrown Last Witch Hunter in there.
I wanted to go away from Supernatural. That's the only thing. As I wanted to eliminate that as a factor. That's why I wanted to go.
Oh, okay.
That's why I also didn't throw Riddick in there.
Well, Riddick wasn't supernatural. Riddick was just in outer space.
No,
he
he's
had
also supernatural.
Them shiny eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's also Well, and if okay, so what if you went Xander Cage versus Shane Wolf? It's a little bit more even field.
I got to go Xander Cage.
Because the
He's going to
skateboard.
pull Shane into. He's going to pull Shane into the Xander zone, and that's going to be it.
So, which, by the way, if you haven't
Okay.
watched Bloodshot with Vin Diesel, it's a pretty good movie. It's pretty good. It's a little bit weird, but it's pretty good. So,
Okay, here's a three-way fight.
oh, three.
I don't even have to mention the actor's name. John Constantine versus Neo versus John Wick.
John Wick.
John Wick's gonna win.
Well,
Exactly.
no, actually,
Well,
Constantine, you got the problem because he can just put
them all in hell.
into the lake and start talking in Latin and call demons down.
Yeah, but
So,
Neo
it-
could just fold all the walls in on him.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You
Neo
know?
could just be. All Neo's got to do is just look at him and go, "Whoa," and done. The head explodes.
And he can do the little back leany thing if John starts shooting at him. So I don't know. That would be a tough fight.
Yeah,
would be-
the longer you think about it, the more difficult it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are three characters who are. Yeah, those are
they're fairly evenly
top
matched.
tier. Yep.
I think of the three of them though, John.
That's
would
literally the Spider-Man meme.
yeah, I think.
Yeah. But I think John Wick in the end is just the one who, by definition, can't lose, so therefore he has to win.
Yeah, I don't know. See,
Well, he is the Baba Yaga.
I need to watch those. I have not watched any of the John Wick movies, so that's on my list.
Oh,
No, I haven't watched any of them.
See, here's the
Yeah.
problem. I can't watch it with Kim just because of the way the first one starts.
Yeah,
I can't watch it with her. There's no way she would sit and watch it. Say, here's an interest. No, that's not actually interesting. I know who would win.
So see, fun little game that for those of you listening, you can play with your friends. One actor, two roles, who would win? So maybe we'll play it
So
again.
I am actually.
time.
I do want to just bring one more up, just so we're not accused of being sexist here, because we mentioned all male characters.
Yeah, I was.
So-
well,
wow,
I was
like to
going to
bring-
say next time we could just say it's female characters. This time it's male characters.
Okay, we can do that.
yeah, because
That's fair.
it is. It's because I do definitely. I think that would be good, but I think we're gonna have to research more. Because just
now we
as,
know what we're doing.
I just think the monkey part of our brain just flips to guys automatically.
Well,
as
my-
you know.
The first one and the only one that's come to mind so far is Ellen Ripley
Yeah.
versus Zool.
Oh, well, but she wasn't Zool.
Yeah, she wasn't.
She was a terror dog.
There is no Dana, only Zool.
Right. Well,
Okay,
but that
so-
was what she was the keymaster, right?
She was the conduit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she
Yeah, they had a different
No.
name. I can't remember what it was.
wasn't she the gatekeeper,
Yeah, she was a gatekeeper.
and Lewis
says
was the
terror-
keymaster.
Yeah. I'm the keymaster. Are you the gatekeeper? Yeah, something like that. So all right, so it's half hour till the end of the show, so it is time for us to do our double feature movie review.
Wait.
Wait.
It was Zool.
No, I thought.
Gozer.
Oh, Gozer. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, regardless.
Yes.
So it's time for us to do our double feature movie review. Now, for this evening, we have a couple of wonderful movies to talk to you about. We have The Duff and Mannequin 2 on the Move. Follow up to the box office hit, The Mannequin. So, which one would you guys like to do first?
Doesn't matter.
Let's
All right.
do Mannequin, because there was something I meant to research for Duff that I forgot to do. So
All right, so Mike, we'll let you start off with The Duff. And
Wait,
No.
wait. Are we?
Mannequin 2.
No, we're doing Mannequin 2 first.
We're doing Mannequin 2 first.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna let you start
All
off
right.
with Mannequin 2 on the move.
I just want to start by saying this movie is bullshit and should have never been made. Why? Because Mannequin was a freaking classic, just like Weekend at Bernie's. And making a sequel is damn near sacrilege, just like Weekend at Bernie's 2 was. The upshot on this movie is that it's Christy Swanson's best role since her part in Deadly Friend. Side note, is Deadly Friend on the list yet? If not, maybe it should be. All right, listen. Herman is driving in a Jeep with no mirrors on the sides, okay? So right off the bat, this is like one of those pet peeve triggers of mine. If you take the doors off of a Jeep and you don't mount the side view mirrors, you are driving illegally. At least you have to have the driver's side mirror mounted. So right off the bat, you're losing points on this review for that. Shaggy, you lied. Montrose is not the only carryover from Mannequin in this movie. I point to one Andy Ackerman, security guard, who was the janitor in the compactor room at the end of the beloved original. And these three musclehead doofuses are bringing us down another notch. I'm just telling you. Cooking sausage in a toaster when he's making breakfast. That is an interesting idea that I think, well, no, Kim would kill me. I also don't think using the dustbuster to get the seeds out of the cantaloupe is a good idea either. I sat here watching this movie and I realized that this is going to be another cobbler moment because this movie was terrible. So puke to Nikes, after all the deductions, it's getting a verb. Watch the original, fine, but this one should have never been made at all. Just no.
All right, and Colin, you're up next.
Yeah, it's going to be a fast review because, what Mike said. But we'll say this movie is full of actors from that era of people you recognize as being in other movies. You have no idea who they are. They're that guy, right? And this movie is full of character actors overacting their butts off. And then somebody did a terrible job of shooting it with cameras and then editing it and somehow turning it into a movie. The entire plot could have been written by a kindergartner. Probably would have been better. Anyway, but there's just no skill in the making of this movie. And you can tell there's a lot of actors who worked really hard to fill their character, and nothing came of it. I will say, if you have access to see this movie, it is worth starting the movie and fast forwarding through, finding any parts where there's lots of people doing stuff, and you might find a couple minutes of enjoyment out of it. Just stay away from anything that actually has to do with the mannequin, and you're probably okay. You might have some enjoyment out of people having fun, I guess. But yeah, it's verb.
Yeah, boy, tough crowd tonight. Tough crowd. So, first of all, I don't understand the rankings of my co-hosts here whatsoever. I mean, you have to look at the star power in this movie. So you have, William Ragsdale, who is, is the head of Herman's head. I mean, he's Herman. That's all I needed to know that I needed when I was a child. I needed to watch this movie. Herman. And then you got Christy Swanson, who was Simone from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, who was Buffy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I needed to watch this movie. You know? Stuart Penkin, who was in Second Sight. He was the doctor and the PhD in Second Sight, which I just watched the other day, which was a great John Larroquette movie. And Bronson Pinchot. If you don't know it, you should watch it. You know, I will admit, this isn't quite as good as the original. All right? It takes a lot to be as good as the original. Sequels often fall short. All right? Count Spretzel is a bit over the top. All right? I'm not arguing that fact. All right? The three lunkheads, they're above and beyond. All right? Now, Mike, I did miss that there wasn't that second holdover character. I'm sorry that I missed somebody who was on screen in the original for all of 3 minutes, but out of a 2-hour movie. I was honestly more infatuated with, some of the other characters on screen at the time. But Mannequin 2 on the Move is not a bad movie. I don't think it deserves a VERP. I would rather give this movie what it really deserves, which is a statuesque smile. All right? Okay. I can't give it an ass-eating grin. I can't give it a shnikes because, like I said, it takes a lot to be as good or better than the original. But a smile is what this movie gets because it just has charm and charisma and all the right people involved. And if you don't like a dancing space number scene towards the end of the movie, I don't know what country you're from, but it's run by a dictator. And you can go back to your communist country because we don't need you here in God-loving America.
You dare talk about star power in this movie. And that's why it gets a smile. Meanwhile, the Peter Dinklage vehicle, I think we're alone now, you gave a puke to. And I'm pretty sure that Peter Dinklage had a hell of a better career than the folks in this movie. Mike dropped. Okay?
Not in my hand. Not in my mind. I'm still looking for DVD quality copies of Herman's Head.
You tapped out on Guns Akimbo, which starred Harry Potter himself, okay?
Yeah. That I did.
You can't use star power, I'm sorry. And yet, Dennis Hopper in Space Truckers, you gave a meh.
It wasn't his best performance.
Oh, God.
It wasn't the type of performance I expect from Dennis Hopper.
Oh, God. All right, let's move on to the Duff.
All right.
Because we could argue about this one all day.
All right, Mike, tell us about your Duff.
Oh, God. All right, so just from reading this description, here we go. The description of this movie. This is going to be a mashup of She's All That, 10 Things I Hate About You, Mean Girls, Just One of the Guys, and Never Been Kissed. Mark my words. But it now turns into a cliffhanger double feature when Senor Gomez shows up, who was also the evil social worker dude from Granddaddy Daycare last week. Having divine intervention, courtesy of an episode of The Simpsons, that is exactly the kind of world that I want to live in. I'm what's known as pre-famous. Let me tell you something. I am going to put that on a friggin' t-shirt, and I'm going to live in that damn thing for the next 3 months. Get out of here before I murder you. If someone actually said that, there would be a Karen right now that would magically appear hitting number 2 on the speed dial, which is 911 on all Karen phones, in case you didn't know. And that's only because voicemail is automatically linked to number one on his cell phone, and Karens can't figure out how to change that. Another line. If this was porn, you'd be bringing me a pizza or cleaning my pool. How old is the porn you're watching? Dude, it's a week. It's a week old. Get off me. And this is where the movie takes the 100% cliche turn, as expected. So I have very little to actually comment on regarding the movie itself from here on out. But I'm going to give this one a smile. No, wait, sorry. Downgrading to a grin, since here we are again. Robbie Amell's character didn't have the sense to put the mirrors back on his Jeep. So you're down to a... Good job, Mr. Amell. Now you're down to a grin. Hope you're happy.
All right. Colin, please continue with Jeep Talk.
Okay, so back in 1999, there was a movie called Never Been Kissed, which was about a 24-year-old reporter who's given the job of going into a school and reporting on it and trying to build the romance that she didn't have because she didn't have one. So here we are, 15 years later, with another movie called The Duff, where you have a 27-year-old woman who's given the job of, by her editor, of writing a story about her high school. Oh, okay, but this time they're not pretending. They're pretending she isn't 27. She's just a senior. Well, she's extremely senior. But, her high school boyfriend, next door neighbor, is actually 28. So at least we don't have to worry about that. Even though, he is kissing another student who I believe was 17 at the time of this movie. That's a little skeevy. So. But anyway, that's what you get in, teenage rom-com high school movies, is old geriatric people pretending they're kids again. That being said, this movie starts very slow, to the point where it was at meh, and it was threatening to go below that during all of the everything is bad parts of this movie. But then, about halfway through, then you start to the coaching thing, which is sort of like the now we have the American Pie 2 thing where one character is coaching another character, and then of course in the end they end up getting together. Yeah, we're on that plot line. But that part's fun. There's a fun segment in the mall, and character stuff is actually happening. Things are moving. That's great. The last quarter of this movie I thought was very good. If someone just went and removed 20% of the first half of the movie, this might actually be something quite pleasant and worth watching again. But as it is, I'm going to leave it at a smile.
All right. So, like Mike, I saw a lot of parallels with other movies in a similar genre, even going so far as to draw parallels to movies like The Truth About Cats and Dogs. Robbie Amell in here was the one interesting reason why it got put on the list in the first place, because, well, I'm a sucker for the Amell brothers. What can I say? But honestly, I'm so played out and tired of the teen rom-com ugly duckling movies. I couldn't really... I watched the movie. I couldn't really get into it. It just was so much of a rinse and repeat of everything else, and not a great rinse and repeat. So, I've watched all the other ones that Mike said, Just One of the Guys, and, She's All That, and Mean Girls, and, so I'm just like, okay, I've seen this done in other movies. They did it first. They did it better. And so it wasn't anything that really did anything for me. It was a kind of a time waster movie, because there wasn't anything innovative for me, at least in it. and everything was kind of predictable. So I'm going to give it a meh. If you really like teen comedy rom-coms, ugly duckling type movies, and you don't mind wasting a couple hours, it's worth your time. But otherwise, not really my speed. All right. Now, up next is picking the next round of movies.
Just hope there's not another teen rom-com. We've had way too many of those.
Well, we got up to 47.
47, all right. Well, the problem is that all the platforms are just so jam-packed with them because they're such an easy formula to repeat, Number 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that the main character was the daughter in Independence Day. That's the only notable thing I can find out about her.
Serious here? Okay. I'll put this on.
What is it?
On Netflix, Legends of the Hidden Temple, a movie inspired by the Nickelodeon Kids game show?
I've been purposely not checking out what that is because it was on the list, and I was like, I hope it manages to pop up because I want to see what the heck that is.
Oh my! A trio of siblings get trapped in a secret temple where they must navigate a risky obstacle course to make it out. Inspired by the 90s game show. It is a PG 1 hour and 8-minute movie from 2016 from Nickelodeon Studios.
At least it's only an hour.
It's going to be a quickie.
All right.
Next up, 17.
17. Oh, God. On Amazon Prime, Super Hot. A pizza delivery girl discovers her neighbor is moving into a sorority house of vampires.
I've actually been dreading watching this. And I think I put it on the list.
Why'd you put it on here then?
Because it just seemed to me like to be very similar to that Babysitter movie that we watched that ended up having a sequel that ended up being pretty funny. But yeah. Yeah, it's a race against the clock to stop her crush from being sacrificed at midnight. So, it's got 4 out of 5 stars, 129 ratings. It's, I guess that means it's only an hour and 21 minutes. So,
that's good.
In total, we're only in for 2.5 hours of torture this week.
And it matches the month, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Which, by the way, before we end out this evening, for those of you that are interested, there was a release that Wednesday, as in Wednesday Addams, season 1 TV show is now going to be released. And they're acting like it's big news that nobody's ever made a series based on Wednesday Addams as an adult. Like, yeah, we talked about it, actually, that there was a YouTube series called Wednesday Addams, or Adult Wednesday. It's going to star Jenna Ortega. Tim Burton is heading up the project. Catherine Zeta-Jones is playing Morticia.
Yeah, and isn't what's the name of the actor playing Gomez?
Gomez.
So he is hold on one second. Luis Guzman.
Guzman, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, everybody was all up in arms about his casting, but I'm like, why?
Raul Julia isn't around anymore.
Well, but
yes, he's extremely dead.
But Guzman is actually closer to how Gomez was actually portrayed in the original Addams Family,
with a bit of a pot belly, right? And yeah. I will say that my wife said, well, Catherine Zeta-Jones is a Morticia. I don't think that makes sense, but boy, you look at the press photos and she She does well. She does pretty well.
Yeah. She's always done very well.
Yep.
Well, I would have enjoyed having Antonio Banderas as Gomez because the two of them back together again would be a blast. But I doubt that was going to happen.
No.
I doubt that was in.
I don't. Now you got me thinking.
I don't think you'd make a good Gomez, just saying.
No, I don't think so. I think you'd be too deep. I think you'd be too deep. That would be weird. But yeah, so I don't know. It might be something to look at. Just don't know. So anyway, we got that coming up. So with that said, really, I think that is pretty much about it for the evening tonight. And as per normal, I don't have the right thing pulled up, so we're just going to go with what we got.
Go with what we got.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget to check out PTR Radio on all your social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all that fun stuff. PTRradio.com will probably be going through some revamps, so don't be surprised if it isn't working. But you can check out our podcast feed. Just go to ptrradio.libsyn.com, and that'll get you subscribed to the podcast while our website's being reworked. Thank you, Russian hackers. Yeah, so all that fun stuff. Otherwise, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Well, a little bit less than 2 weeks, actually. So we'll be back on the 24th, if all of everything is to be believed. And by then, I'll have some word about DJing a trunk or treat. Mike, will you have your event done by then?
When are we back? The 24th?
4th?
No, I will not.
You'll still be gearing up, and maybe by then, Mike will know what he's going to actually dress up as.
Yeah, my event is on the 27th.
All right, so we'll have plenty of time to get him a Barney costume that he can preview before all of us, or a Tinky Winky costume, or something like that. Maybe we can get you a Diego, a Go Diego Go costume.
The one costume that I saw that both Kim and I liked was actually Alan from The Hangover with the baby Carlos.
Maybe you were going to say like a Handy Mandy, or
no.
Maybe you could be Ryder from Paw Patrol. That, latchkey kid. I can help you out with all these kid cartoons, Mike. Don't worry, we got you covered. You could be Ron Stoppable. Nobody will know who he is. You could be Shredder from Ninja Turtles. Nobody knows who he is either.
I thought about Johnny Bravo. Nobody knows who he is.
No. Maybe you could be Cat Dog. I know, Beavis and or Butthead. Yeah.
No, because they just had a new movie.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't.
I might just get myself a black headband and be Johnny from Cobra Kai.
Yep, that would work. So, all right, folks, thanks for tuning in.
Kid comes up, but could you play quiet? Stop talking. Just start barking at him like that.
Sweep the leg.
No.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be with you in a couple weeks. That's it for me. I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am Mike the Ape Man.
Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.
Had an inbred smile, had a cold steel grip. Never wanted to cry, never wanted to slip. She was a hard sell woman. She tried to look her best, like a hungry junkie needing just one more hit. Just a product of a subtle lane.